Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for You. The video and audio that you are seeing and hearing are coming right from the eufy Floodlight Cam, the E340. And you also notice something else? It's following me. I love the tracking feature. You know what? Enough talk. Let's get right into this review.
About a year ago, I reviewed and installed the eufy Floodlight Cam 2, and now look at this, the eufy Floodlight Cam E340 is going to replace it for me. This unit retails for right around $220. It was sent to me for review, and eufy is actually sponsoring this video, but like every video, I'm going to put this thing through the test and share with you the good and the not so good. Here we have our light unboxed. You can see that first things first, we have two cameras. There is a 2K telephoto lens. There's also a 3x optical lens. That's awesome. The cameras allow up to an 8x zoom, and that's pretty impressive. Of course, you see our two different lights up here. We do have 2000 lumens. I should say that this connects to the HB3, so you can have that 24/7 recording. Out of the box, the mounting is set up for a side wall unit, but then again, you can have this part moved to the top if you need to have a ceiling mount. To access the wiring, we're going to put our finger here, push down, and there's our wiring. Of course, if I wanted to move this to a ceiling mount, I would unscrew this screw here, pop off the unit, put it on the top, and screw it in tight. Installation is pretty straightforward. We're going to bring our wires from their box in. We're going to hook up the white, ground, and black right to here. I do have these cutouts around the side where I can hook up my screws to put it into the box to hold it tight. They also include this convenient hook. When you get your box up on the wall, you can hook this in, therefore you're not having to hold the light while you're trying to wire it. Once all your wiring is tightened up and you put the back on, there are these little screw holes on either side just to hold it together so it cannot fall apart. I appreciate that added sense of security. I'm excited to see how this camera works. I know one of my original complaints about the Floodlight Cam 2 was that you could hear the panning going back and forth, so when the camera moved, you could hear it move. I'll be interested to see if that has changed in this model. As with all eufy products, we first have to install it to the app, and the access point is right here underneath the camera. That's where we're going to put the power cord so we can power this device, and of course set it up through the app. Let's do that now. We took off the weather stripping to reveal the USB-C connection. There's also, oh, hey there. Well, we also saw our sync button in there. And of course, now the camera's doing some panning. We do see that the light is on as well. What we do first is we open up our app. We're going to scroll down to our Floodlight camera. It's right here. Of course, you can see that our Floodlight Cam E340 is the one right there on the top. I'm hooking this to my home base 3, which is the Jeff Reviews for You. Right now, the app has popped up a QR scanner for me to scan the QR on the back of my device. Since we are doing our initial install, we are not hooked up. Let's hit next. We are already plugged in. Let's hit next. Of course, you can see that our LED is already blue.
Press the button on top until you hear a beep.
You can hear that we were told to push the sync button. Let's do that now. There's our beep. All right, so now it wants us to connect our camera to our Wi-Fi. It's letting us know that we are connecting to the Wi-Fi network. Of course, on the screen, we see it looks the same as well.
Setup was successful.
There we go. We are successfully connected. Let's wait. Oh, look at that thing move. The app has now told us we are connected also. I just finished working through all the settings that are really customized to the individual, and now it tells me that it needs to do a firmware update, and I guess this is to make sure it can connect to the HB3. So if you have an update, do that before you go and install. But once this is done, I'm going to take it outside and install. So here's the unit that we are going to be replacing. It's still a great unit, and honestly, if I didn't have a new one, I wouldn't be replacing it at all because this one has done a great job. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut off the power, take this one down, and set up the new one. As you can see, the install is well underway. I will say that my installation may be a little different than yours because my backplate is actually screwed into the outside wall of the garage because the box for my electric is on the inside of the garage and the wire actually comes through. In the end, it'll look the same, but you can see that I use some wood screws to screw the backplate into the wall. It's also important to practice good electrical safety. The entire time I've been doing this, I've had my power shut off. I've actually just turned it back on because I wanted to show you anytime you work with wires, you should get one of these testers and test it, because listen to that. I know that's a live wire and I do not want to mess with it. I'm gonna go shut mine back off and continue the install. So our electrical is all hooked up. I'm gonna push this back up into the housing. It was just hard to hold it there and film at the same time. As soon as I put that up, I'm actually gonna put our camera light back on the back plate. Here's the final install. I should say to adjust your lights, you just pan and tilt them any which way that you want. There is no real mechanism to lock them into place, so once you're set, you just leave them go. I will say, I hope I don't miss having 3 lights because this one just has the 2. Let's go turn the power back on.
There's nothing like shooting a video from above, looking down, letting you know that it might be time to replace your driveway. Anyway, I do love that eufy allows you to use both the telephoto camera and the wide angle camera at the same time. Dual cameras, that's awesome. I wanted to take the time to show you the 3 different night vision options. There's the black and white night vision, there's the full color night vision, and of course there's the no night vision at all. The black and white night vision is that grayscale where the color night vision utilizes the floodlights to light up the area and give you your colored night vision. Of course, no night vision at all. Well, on this particular light doesn't make sense because this is powered all the time. I just wanted to give you the 3 different views of what you can expect.
In this video, we were looking at the eufy Floodlight Cam E340. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. It retails for right around $220. If you look at other companies, that is in the comparable price range. And I checked out some from Blink and some from Ring that would do some similar things, and they're right about the same price. I like how this integrates right with eufy's app, the Homebase 3, and therefore your 24/7 video recording. That to me is pretty impressive. I appreciate the 360-degree video tracking. That is pretty cool. Also has 3K quality. Now, some of the video that I showed you here was only at 1080p, and the reason why that was is because my internet at the time was not able to support the full 3K, but you could see it at 1080p. One thing that really impressed me was this could either go on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi or a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. In past products, I've only been able to use a 2.4, but I appreciate this using both bands. I want to talk a little bit to the AI tracking technology. Now, it's important to note that it can only track one person or thing at a time, right? And that kind of makes sense. So as it's tracking you and panning back and forth, if someone or something else comes into the camera, yeah, it'll record it then, but it will not then turn and track them. Just something that you should know. I didn't talk to all the different features of the app, but it is fully loaded. It has the alarm, you can change the lights, there's night vision, you can have privacy zones. It is all there, hooked right onto the eufy network, and I really do think that's awesome. Of course, we already talked about the 2 cameras that you can go up to 3K plus an 8x zoom. It has a lot of built-in features. Installation was quick and easy. I did have a few hurdles I had to jump through, and I'll explain those in just a little bit, but I was pretty impressed with the overall process. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by and hope you have a great day. As with all products I review, I always check on Amazon to see any reviews on there to see if people have had difficulty and if I've had that same difficulty. Well, there was one particular feedback review that said that their camera consistently was giving connection errors and they couldn't even see anything on the cameras. And the fact of the matter is that happened to me too. I actually had trouble initially with the camera viewing, and here's what I did to fix. First things first, I switched it from a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi to a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I don't know why the connection change actually helped, but I was able to see the cameras after I switched. Also, I made sure my app was updated and I had the most recent firmware of the Floodlight Cam. After I did that, my errors went away, and then I've been able to utilize the camera as normal. Also, if you have some connectivity errors and you've tried the same fixes I did and they still didn't work, I would encourage you to reach out to the eufy technical support. They are a great group that really want to get you up and running. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the eufy Floodlight Cam E340. You know what? During this video, I actually talked about my previous eufy Floodlight Cam that I installed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm gonna join you right here. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.